Hey fellow gamers, have you ever dreamed of turning your passion for video games into a successful career? Maybe like me, you may have thought about it, but always doubted that it was possible. How do you get hired into a gaming company when you can't code and can't draw? This is how I did it, starting as a game tester, and I've been in the game industry for over a decade. In this video, we'll explore everything you need to know about starting your career as a game tester. I'll use my decade of experience to go over these 6 topics. Number 1. So what is a game tester? Also known as QA tester. Also known as the people that get blamed by fans when a game is broken. The main responsibility of a game tester is to find bugs. Bugs are any kind of unintended issues that occurs in a game that may hinder a gamer's experience, including breaking visuals, crashes, and even corrupted save files. Once a bug is found, a bug report is written up. Generally, a bug report template would include observed behavior, expected behavior, and reflection steps. Once a bug is fixed by a designer or an engineer, it will be sent back to the tester for regression testing to verify the fix has been made appropriately. Number 2. What skills do you need and don't need? Above all else, you need passion and love for video games. If you don't, why are you watching this? Go watch videos of dogs skateboarding instead. Next, you need excellent teamwork and communication skills. Although the main responsibility of a tester is to find bugs, what we most look for in a candidate for hire and also for promotion is their ability to collaborate with everyone on the game team. You also need decent writing skills for bug reports, but we are looking for a thesis here. Can you describe what the bug is and how it is reproduced? Bug reports shouldn't take more than 5 to 10 minutes to write up. Developers look at thousands of bug reports. It is not uncommon for a game to have over 10,000 bugs during the game development cycle. You need to make it easy to read and to the point. You do not need to know how to code or have studied in any particular field. Sure, having been to game design school helps, but it is not mandatory. I didn't go to one, and neither did the majority of people on QA teams. Next, you will need a good basic understanding of the current generation of gaming platforms and their services. You don't actually need to own every console. This was something I worried about when I got my interview for the game tester role. I ran out to buy an Xbox when I've only been a PlayStation fanboy my whole life. Turns out, no one cares. Majority of developers only own one console anyway. Finally, you don't even need to be a pro gamer or be particularly good at games. No one expects you to be an evil champion. Some people get hired just because of the languages they know or by the accent of their voice. More on this in the next section. Number 3. The different types of game testers. There are various types of game testers. Here's a quick high-level overview on the most key types. Black box testers. This is most similar to an end user. They just play the game with no tools to help them understand the internal game mechanics. This type of tester is the most common and the easiest to get hired and start your career. White box testers. The next step up for a black box tester is a white box tester. This type of tester is embedded closely with the game development team. In some teams, the tester will sit closely with the designers, use the same game editor tools, and help validate game designs and mechanics as it is being built. Having any sort of game engine knowledge is a plus. More on this later at the end of the video, where I talk about application tips and how to acquire these skills for free. It is quite common for a black box tester to eventually become white box as they gain experience. Next, compliance testers. Games need to pass a certification process by platform companies like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo before it can be sold. For example, a check for a PlayStation game includes making sure PlayStation button prompts in game are shown properly, like a text prompt can't be displayed as press square. It has to be press square button. There are hundreds of these technical requirement checks to go through. This is the most critical tester role on a team, as failing submissions would cost the game studio a lot of time and money. The last one is localization testers. These testers will check the game in different languages. Most games aim to support eFix plus JP. This means English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, and Japanese. Being fluent in one of these languages is a big asset on your job application. For games that use voice commands, teams may look for testers with an accent, like a British accent, to test the voice commands. Let's move on to the next topic. We are past the halfway mark now. Stay to the last section to learn about application and interview tips. Number 4, the good. Besides being able to play for pay, being a game tester is a great way to get your foot in the door of the game industry. The hiring requirements are very low, and there are numerous tester positions on each project. In my decade of experience, I have seen multiple game testers move on to other roles, such as game designers, producers, and project managers. The pay gets good as you gain experience and move up. Here are some examples of the pay. It seems obvious to mention this, but being able to play unannounced games and sometimes getting to work with prototypes of upcoming game consoles is something very special. Finally, being able to see your name on the credit screen is an amazing accomplishment and something to be proud of. Number 5, the bad. Here are some of the not so good things about being a game tester. Larger game studios tend to use a contracting company to hire inexperienced game testers, usually for the black box tester roles. Depending on the contract, these companies may take a percentage of your pay every paycheck. This is why the starting wage of these contract testers are usually not that high. But if you get recognized, you'll be able to get hired out of your contract by the game studio, and the pay starts to improve. Getting a full-time position is a significant step and a requirement if you wish to build a sustainable career. For myself, I converted out of a contract into a full-time position in about a year. I have also seen some testers be on contract for multiple years as well. Like any job, it depends on your own effort and performance. Next, every game project will have a crunch period at some point, but the severity of it varies. While overtime is always voluntary, there are teams or managers that view it as an expectation. This is something I wish the game industry as a whole would stop doing, but until then, please remember your health always comes first. Be wary of teams that have a hero culture, and do not be the one that is the cause of it. It's good to be passionate, but think about how it may create unrealistic work expectations of not just you, but your team members as well. If I hadn't scared you off, let's talk about how to get a good job application and ace that interview. Number 6, insider tips on applying and interviewing. I know because I've interviewed and onboarded many new game testers into the industry. Important note is that game studios using a contracting company to hire testers may not have their job postings on the game company's career page. Instead, these would be listed in regular job sites like Indeed and ZipRecruiter. The listing may not even mention which game company they are for until the interview. Job postings on actual game company sites are generally for testers that are more experienced. Most important tip is be professional. Unfortunately, a lot of contract testers lack work ethics and even proper hygiene. I have seen several game testers, mostly contract testers, that wear the same food-stained clothes day after day, and they smell like they've been living under King Kong's armpit. I wish this was more common sense, but I am putting this on here because it is not. More and more game studios are emphasizing on finding candidates that are a good cultural fit. It doesn't matter if you are a testing god. If you stink, we don't want you. Second, the most asked question in the game tester interview is, describe a bug we encountered. Don't say glitch. No one uses that term in game development. Next time you are gaming, keep an eye out for any bugs. There is no such thing as a game without bugs. You can also look up popular bug exploits on YouTube and figure out why it happens. Next, having game engine knowledge on your resume is an asset, and you can easily learn it for free. You can download Unity or Unreal Engine for free. Just do some beginner tutorials. They are fun and easy to do, and you can put it on your resume as having a basic understanding of popular game engines used in many game studios. This will give you an easy leg up on your applicant competitors. Another good tool knowledge to have on is Jira. It is a project management tool. It is very popular and most software companies use it. Game development tasks and bug reports will be written in Jira. Jira is also free to use. Just try it out. This is also an easy win to put on your resume and would impress anyone looking at your job application. Finally, knowing how to create test plans is also a great skill to include on your resume. You probably don't know what a test plan is, but I can teach you now in 15 seconds. The test plan is a list of checks used to test a certain element of a game. For example, a test plan for a gun in COD would look something like this. Does the weapon do damage? Are visual effects shown when the weapon is fired? Is there a sound effect when the weapon is fired? Can the weapon reload? You get the idea. There, now you can add it on a resume for knowing the basics of creating test plans. That's it, you made it. If you learned something from this video or I've inspired you to become a game tester, please like and subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or anything you would like to see in a future video.